Alright, Electric Motor Division, Service Department, Locomotive Service Manual, Section 7, Inspection Replacement of contact tips and power and reverser shunt switch gear. Inspection of contact tips. Contact tips of the power reverser shunting switch gear, which inspected periodically, worn, burned, or eroded contacts. Sample views of these conditions can be seen in Figure 7.1. Routine inspection, immediate replacement of the contact sets. Tips such as these will contribute to the high efficiency, more reliable service. At the present time in contact, tips used for the electric motor division switchgear are made with the alloy material. The contacting surface of these alloy tips to take the irregularities during the first few operating cycle. It is during the initial operation the majority of the contact wear occur with the discolorization of the surface of the contact tips, which result of the repeated cycling with a good conductor with electricity does not affect the contact operation. Normal wear and erosion continues after initial wear period, and sometimes in case of the appearance of the contact tips give this false impression that the tips are not operating satisfactorily. Figure 7.2 with a sample view of the contact tips that are still usable. Alloy contact tips will operate satisfactorily even though black and pitted eroded. Do not clean and dress or file the contact surface or replace the contacts with any portion of the alloy material is worn to the base. Regardless of how the surface of the contact picks appear, as long as there with the alloy material of the both contact surface, the entire surface life that has not been used. However, when routine electrical equipment inspection is made, if any of the portion alloy is worn away by the base metal of the contact should be replaced. For best result of the both stationary movable contact should be replaced with either tip of the worn base metal. Life cycle load tests performed on presently used switchgear have indicated contacts life expectancy of 3.5 to 4 years or longer. Life expectancy based on normal locomotive uses. Contactors with an interrupt the surface fault occurrence caused by circuitry malfunction will not last. Do not use. Show that the normal erosion alloy completely eroded away should be replaced. And then it shows these contacts are stripped by faulty current. Sample view of the contacts should be replaced. And you can see they are faulty and eroded. Alright, these are usable. Full face erosion, corner burn erosion, corner burn and partial erosion. Removal and placement of the contact assembly transfer the reverse switch. Removal of this replacement movable with the contact assembly. Figure 7.3. Remove the top of the cop cover that expose the contact assembly. Remove the white celestic material of the top of the screw. Using 3/16 of the head X head key Allen wrench. Remove the socket head screw. Socket head cap screw lock washer lift all movable hold iron movable contact assembly. Place movable contact assembly and reassemble the move on hold on iron socket head cap screw lock washer to move contact bar assembly. Do not tighten screws at this time. 6. Carefully line movable the contact assembly. Tighten socket head cap screws. 7. Apply a small amount of celestic material extending to the head socket head cap screw to movable hold on iron. 7.3. Removing the contact assembly of the transverser on the movable contact assembly on the transfer of the reverser switch. Removal and placement of the top of the flexible stationary contact assembly. 1. Remove the power leads connected with the top of the stationary contact assembly. Use a 1/4-inch hex head key Allen wrench. Remove the 2 socket head clamp screws and lock washer. Lift out with the top stationary contact assembly. Flexible stationary contact assembly. Place new flexible stationary contact assembly being placed carefully with a pivot of spring assembly. Wipe springs are in place vertical. 5. Place a new top stationary contact assembly in place, then install the socket head cap screws with lock washer and tighten. 6. Check movement between the top stationary contact assembly and the flexible stationary contact assembly. Also check contact gap. Refer to surface data for the proper movement and proper contact gap. 7. Place power leads in top cover. Figure 7.4 shows removing the stationary contact assembly to transfer reverser switch. Alright, removal and replacement of the contact assembly with the traction motor field of the trunk contact. Removal and replace with the movable contact shown in Figure 7.5. Remove the molded angle cover from the shunting contact. Remove the hex head cap screw lock washer flat washer holding the movable contact assembly to the lower stationary contacted block. 3. Move the mobile contact spring between the movable contact assembly with the operating lever screwdriver that may be used to compress the movable contact spring and removal. Remove the U-clamp low stationary contact block. A screwdriver may use to pry the U-clamp loose from the block. The U-clamp remains part of the movable contact assembly. Lift the contact assembly from the contactor. Place the new contact assembly into position on the contactor. Insert the movable contact spring between movable contact assembly with the operating lever and screwdriver may be used to compress the spring. Shows 7.5 shows removing the moving contactor assembly with the shunt contactor. And 8 would position the U-clamp over the hole of the lower stationary contact block. Press the U-clamp into position. 9. Install the hex head cap screw, lock washer, flat washer, tighten, screw securely. Removal and replacement of stationary contact assembly. Figure 7.6. Remove all leads, bus bars from the stationary contact assembly. Use a 5/16 hex head key, Allen wrench. Remove socket head cap screw, lock washer top stationary contact assembly. Lift stationary contact assembly. Place new stationary contact assembly into position. Install socket head cap screw, lock washer. Do not tighten screw at this time. Ensure the stationary contact assembly is properly seated. Align with the movable contact assembly. Tighten socket head screw securely. Reference refer to serve the tab of the contact gap. Replace all leads and bus bars. Replace with a molded angle cover. Figure 7.6 shows remove the stationary contact assembly of the shunting contactor. Alright, 7. Removal of the placement arc tip assembly, main contact assembly. Remove the movable arc tip assembly. Figure 7.7. Move arc chute assembly, lifting over the tilting of the arc chute assembly back with the main with the body with the contactor. Use a 5/32 for the inch hex head key, Allen wrench. Remove the socket head cap screw. Lock washer over the movable air tip assembly with the moving contact bar. 3. Move the arc tip assembly upon the arc tip assembly while moving it from side to side. And then it shows in figure 7.7. It shows movable arc tip and it shows the movable arc tip assembly. 7.8 show them removing the movable contact assembly power contactor assembly from the power contactor. 2. Play for the non-movable main contact assembly. Play for the install of the 2-socket head cap screw, lock washer. Alright, sorry, I read that wrong. Removal and placement of the movable main contact assembly. Figure 7.8. Use 3/16 with a hex head Allen wrench. Remove the 2-socket head cap screw, lock washer. Hold the movable contact is assembly in place. After the screws are removed, the movable main contact assembly may be removed and replaced with the new contact assembly. Figure 7.8 show the removal of the movable contact assembly from the power contactor. 2. Play with the new movable main contact assembly in place and install the 2-socket head cap screws and lock washer. Do not tighten screws at this time. 3. Ensure movable main contact assembly properly seated using 3/16 of an inch hex head key. Tighten socket head cap screws securely. 4. Recheck setting of the contact assembly after the screws are tightened. Replacing movable arc tip assembly. It's figure 7.9. Insert the new arc tip assembly between the hold-on bracket and movable main contact assembly. Caution: make certain that the arc tip assembly is inserted between the hold-on magnet bracket and movable main contact assembly, not in front of the hold-on magnet bracket. 2. Align the hole in the movable arc tip assembly. Hold the movable contact bar with the hole in the hold-on magnet bracket. 3. Install the socket head cap screw to hold the movable arc tip assembly. The movable contact bar to hold the magnet bracket. Then tighten socket head cap screw securely. Alright, 7.9 shows inserting the new movable arc contact tip. Alright, removal and replacement the top stationary contact assembly, flexible stationary contact assembly. Figure 7.10. 1. Remove the power leads bus bar connected to the top stationary contact assembly. Shows flexible stationary contact assembly and top stationary contact assembly. And 7.10 show the remove the stationary contact assembly from the power contactor. Use 1/4 inch hex head Allen wrench. Remove the 2-socket head cap screw with the lock washer. Lift out of the top stationary flat stationary contact assembly. 4. Play for the new flexible stationary contact assembly piston position. Being careful to pivot the spring and the wiping spring with the place in vertical. Place new stop stationary contact assembly. Place then. Install with the 2-socket head cap screws. Lock washer tighten. 6. Check movement between the 2 stationary contact assembly. Flexible stationary contact assembly. Also check contact gap. Refer to serve the tab with the movement and contact gap. 7. Replace power leads and bus bar. Removal and replacement of stationary arc tip assembly. Figure 7.11. Stationary arc tip located arc chute assembly using screwdriver. Remove the 2 filter head machine screw. Lock washer lift out stationary arc contact tip and place new stationary arc tip in proper position. Install the 2 filter head main screws and lock washer tighten screws securely. Show the stationary arc tip set. Tip assembly and replacement of stationary arc tip assembly. Service data routine maintenance part equipment. Contactors, power switches, transfer versus main contactor, and then it gives you a number We have top stationary contact assembly, flexible stationary contact assembly, moving arc, tip assembly, stationary arc testing, arc shooting specifications. Current rating power 1000 amps, transfer 1000 amp, reverser 1000 amp, contact pressure 9 to 10 pounds, power 5 pounds minimum transfer, 5 pounds minimum reverser, contact wear allowance 1/16 of an inch each for power, 3/32 of an inch transfer and reverser, contact grip 1.5 to 1/32 of an inch power, plus or minus 1/32 of an inch, 13/32 of an inch plus 3/64 of an inch or minus for a reverser and transfer, and then contacts number 1 and number O, transfer and reverser DPDT. Movable between top of stationary contacts, flexible stationary contact assembly. Your power would be 3/64 plus or minus a 64th of an inch, and that also goes for the transfer and reverser, and then it goes into your references and maintenance instructions. Alright, and this was inspection replacement contact tips for the power reverser and shunting switchgear.